Right, Nicholas isn't doing it. You know, but I'll do it then. I'll do.
You do it, yes.
I'll do double acts. Why not?
Jason, you're going to do double acts. Can we have the spotlight, please? Oh, it suits you. You have 60 seconds on double acts, starting now. How are Bartholomew and Wiseman better known? Nicholas, you can't help.
Morecambe and Wise.
Yes. Which duo performed a sketch with street-talking World War II Air Force pilots?
Armstrong and Miller.
Correct. Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon are reviewing what in their 2010 series, The Trip?
Restaurant.
Indeed. Which double act performed the Four Candles sketch?
Two Ronnies.
What, correct. What musical act did Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi create in the 70s?
The Blues Brothers.
They did. Which Channel 4 double act used Star Wars figures as a part of a weekly soap opera?
Oh, it was... Oh, what's the name? Ben... Oh, what's his name? What's his name? I know him off the radio.
There's two of them.
I know. No, okay.
Adam and Joe.
Adam
Name
and
the
Joe.
show in which Rick Mayall and Ade Edmondson starred as two flatmates living in
Bottom.
Hammersmith. Correct. Which comedy pairing featured as Thompson and Thompson in the Tintin movie?
Was it Matt Lucas and...
No, it was Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. So at the end of that round, Jason's team is in the lead. Join us after this final break to find out who will go through to the next round of the Comedy World Cup. But in the meantime, which of our panellists do you think came last on Celebrity Mastermind in 2007?
Foster's sponsors original comedy on 4.
For over 100 years, we've been passionate about building cars. We've innovated and we've celebrated. And today, our entire car range comes with a warranty that could last a lifetime. Like the breathtaking Astra GTC. With stunning handling and looks, it's a car designer's dream made into reality. The Astra GTC from Vauxhall.
Be one with it, and it will be one with you. Be one with your tyres, and the road will be one with you. Angle Tyres, official partner of DTM.
ebookers.com.
Yeah, ebookers. They've got a sale on hotels. Up to 50% off for September.
Good idea.
ebookers.com. Book easier, travel happier.
I have been single since last summer. I'm ready for a new relationship.
It all starts with a date. Match.com. More relationships and more marriages than any other site.
What you doing?
Playing Mario.
Let's just have a look. I do know this game. Oh! Careful. Can I have a go?
Okay, have a try.
Ooh.
You've played Mario?
What do you think we played as kids?
Together, families can rediscover their love for Mario with new Super Mario Bros. 2 and so much more. Whether you want to create, share or just play great games, experience it all on 90% bigger screens with the new Nintendo 3DS XL.
The audience are in, the money has arrived and the contestants are ready. It can mean only one thing. You are 10 minutes away from tonight's £1 million drop live. Join us after Comedy World Cup.
Foster's sponsors original comedy on 4.
Welcome back to the Comedy World Cup. Before the break, I asked you which of our panellists do you think came last on Celebrity Mastermind in 2007? Any takers?
I have to own up.
Nicholas Parsons.
It was me.
Oh.
What was your specialist subject?
My specialist subject was something I know a great deal about, Edward Lear, because I do a programme about him. I'm considered to be an authority on him. I did Edward Lear and his nonsense, and I think the person who set the questions hadn't got a clue about Edward Lear and asked the most bizarre questions. I got 18 or 19 points, and some people of one mastermind with that number of points.
You know, it's good in 5 years. It's good that you've managed to let it go, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like...
No, it's all right. No, I'm embarrassed about it, because I am supposed to be an authority on
Quite
Edward
a lot
Lear.
of people said you were a bit thick after that. But I put them right. I told them you were really bright, but just extremely old.
Joe, you have an amazing way of putting somebody down and then lifting them up again.
And then putting them down again.
Dragging it back to the world of sitcom now for our What Happens Next round. I'm going to show our teams a clip from a well-known sitcom, freeze it, and ask them to work out, well, what happens next. Jason, Paul and Nicholas, here's your clip. It's from I'm Alan Partridge. You get a point if you can tell me how the scene develops.
It must be odd being here in a room surrounded by photos of yourself.
It is a bit, yeah.
I like David Copperfield as well. Not as much as you, though.
No, I can see that. He's losing the battle for wall space, isn't he? Do you take these on a telephoto lens?
Yeah.
Are you the crank caller?
Yeah.
Yep, thought so.
I'm just a fan, Alan, that's all. Your biggest fan.
Yeah.
So, what do you think happens next?
Well, it's a classic scene, isn't it? I think he lifts his shirt up and he's got a tattoo of Alan's face on his chest and stomach.
Shall we have a look?
I'm just a fan, Alan, that's all. Your biggest fan.
Yeah.
I'll show you something.
Glory be.
It took 14 hours. I fainted 3 times.
Jed, I'll level with you. I'm really scared.
1 point there. Anyone here ever had a stalker?
Not really stalker, just I was on tour, did about 150 dates, and about 110 of them, this same girl turned up at the stage door.
That's the tour manager.
Yeah, what are you doing? Who is this person? Stop messing with those lights. And yeah, and they turned up at stage door, and you know, can I get a photo and that? And, you know, do that everything, little photo. And what was weird, on the last date of the tour, she turned up and she said, "Oh, I've made a little flip book of all the photos of me and you, like in the same position." And obviously, over the course of 10 months, you know, I sort of, you know, I fluctuate weight over that time. So there's this weird, like, flip book of me just going. Sorry.
Why were you moving like this?
Just because that's.
Joe, Shappy and Dave, here's your clip. It's from Black Books.
Racist.
This is lovely.
Yes, reminds me of the first time I ever went to an Italian restaurant. 1965, I think it was. I went in, and you know, the first thing I saw... Oh, no, maybe it was 1964. Couldn't have been 1963, because I couldn't drive then, could I? And I don't think I had the Hillman at that time. No, that's right. I wore the Hillman in 1966, because that was the year of the World Cup. You know, I bought it at an auction. There was this chap there. He was fascinating. He once worked...
Oh, dear, I've dropped my fork.
So, team, what happens next?
I'll tell you what's edgy me. I had a Hillman. My first car was a Hillman. Like the guy on the Hillman.
Oh, I've dropped my fork.
Oh, naughty. That's naughty.
Any guesses?
I went on a blind date once, and about 15 minutes in, I thought, this is appalling, it's not going to work. And so I said to him, I'm just going to go to the loo. And it was one of those pubs where the glass just came down to like half the door. So I went to the loo, came out, and crawled on my hands and feet to the front door of the pub as he opened the door. And I didn't try and make something up, I just legged it.
Brilliant.
Sorry.
I once worked in a pub where they were doing speed dating downstairs, and I went to collect some glasses, and as I walked past this speed... Obviously, you've got 3 minutes to impress someone and then move on to the next table. And as I walked past the table, I heard a bloke go, "So anyway, when I turned up, they were all dead." And I thought... You've got 3 minutes, mate. Don't start with the "when I turned up, they were all dead" story. That's second date.
So what do you reckon happens when Dylan Moran goes under the table?
I've got an idea about what he could have done.
Well, what's he going to do down there, steal his
Well,
shoes?
I think he goes under the table, gets up and walks off with the table on top of him, possibly.
That would be funny.
Let's have a look.
He once
Oh
worked
dear, I've dropped
at-
my fork. Excuse me, I better get that. Give me a martini, will you?
How would you guess that?
So with 1 round left to play, Jason's team is in the lead. So there's everything to play for in our final quick-fire round. If you're ready, team, fingers on the buzzers. Time starts now. What was the name of the Spanish waiter in Fawlty Towers? Joe?
Manuel.
Correct. Which comedian's current tour is called Crack Dealer? Shappy?
Jimmy Carr.
Is Dara O'Brien. The tagline of which movie is "You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll hurl"?
Some crappy American film.
I don't know if I can give you that. It was Wayne's World. Who did John Cleese once refer to as the Lost Python? Nicholas.
David Frost.
It was Eddie Izzard. Which comedian voiced the whale in the film Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Joe.
Was it me?
It wasn't. It was Bill Bailey. On which topical comedy show was Ali G first introduced?
The 11 o'clock show.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. Yes. Who was famously replaced by a tub of lard when he failed to turn up on Yes, Joe?
Roy,
come
the
on.
Labour politician,
Come on.
Roy Hattersley.
Is the correct answer. Which half of the famous comedy duo recently discovered he was a descendant of William the Conqueror? Joe?
Was it Alexander Arms?
It was, and that's the end of the quiz! So, Joe's team are off to Butlin's Minehead, and going through to the semi-finals are Jason's team. Thanks once again to our teams Joe, Shappy and Dave. Jason, Paul and Nicholas. I'm David Tennant, and this has been the Comedy World Cup. Good night!
Tomorrow, a big fat, fatty quiz of the 1980s with Mr. Jimmy Carr. Michael Fish and Sue Pollard rock on by at 9. But coming up tonight, Wonga prepped and ready for action. It's Davina with the £1 Million Drop live and next.